Hello, Bitcoiners.
He courted cryptocurrency fans during his election campaign.
If crypto is going to define the future, I want to be mined, minted, and made in the USA. It's going to be.
Now Donald Trump is taking steps to deliver on his promise to be a crypto president. On Thursday, he ordered the creation of a working group to propose new rules for digital assets. He also instructed the group to explore the creation of a US national cryptocurrency stockpile. It all marked a big change from the Biden administration, which had cracked down on crypto over fears of fraud and money laundering. Regulators also sued exchanges like Coinbase and Binance, arguing they were flouting US laws, something the companies strongly deny. Crypto fans warmly welcomed Thursday's move. They have long said US regulations don't fit digital assets. They've called for clarity on whether cryptocurrencies should be viewed and regulated as securities. Bitcoin has soared since Trump's election win. On Monday, it hit fresh record highs above $109,000, though by Friday morning it was back down around $103,000. As for a national digital stockpile, the order says that could be created from crypto seized in the course of law enforcement actions. There was no further detail on how such a fund might be set up and run, and legal experts are divided over whether it would require an act of Congress.
Celebrations in Israel and in the occupied Palestinian territories on Saturday as hostages were released in keeping with the Gaza ceasefire deal. She and Karina Arayev, Daniela Gilboa and Naama Levy had earlier been handed over by Hamas to the International Committee of the Red Cross in front of a crowd in Gaza City. They had been stationed at an observation post on the edge of Gaza when they were abducted in the Hamas attack on October 7th, 2023. And these were the scenes in the West Bank city Ramallah as crowds, including family members, welcomed returning Palestinian prisoners. 200 Palestinian prisoners have been released, Israel's prison service said. The swap is the second to take place under the ceasefire deal. The truce calls for Hamas to release 33 women, children, elderly, sick and wounded hostages over a 6-week first phase. In exchange, Israel frees 30 prisoners for each civilian and 50 for each soldier. Israel says those convicted of killing Israelis will not be allowed to return home. Around 70 will be deported to Egypt, Palestinian officials said, and from there to another country. 16 were sent to Gaza, with the rest released to the Israeli-occupied West Bank. Arbel Yehud had been abducted with her boyfriend from their home in kibbutz near Oz. An Israeli military spokesman said the failure to release her was a breach of the truce. Hamas said it was a technical issue. A Hamas official said the group had informed mediators that she was alive and would be freed next Saturday.
One by one, long-range attack drones accelerate down an unlit, abandoned Ukrainian road and take off into the night sky. Carrying explosive warheads, they're part of a Ukrainian campaign of long-range drone attacks that aim to inflict blows on Russia far behind the front line. The Ukrainian military granted Reuters exclusive access during the launch of the drones, but said the location and date of the strike could not be disclosed for security reasons. The voices of the soldiers are narrated by actors at the request of the military, which reviewed the footage as part of the reporting. We're going to conduct a strategic mission today, says this battalion commander with the call sign Casper. Unfortunately, I can't tell what our target is, but this is a deep strike and it's going to hurt, he says. Much of Ukraine's wartime drone program has been kept secret. It's seen as a way to chip away at Russia's vast military-industrial base, which has been conducting long-range drone attacks on a nightly basis. Kyiv has stepped up its own drone strikes in recent weeks, as U.S. President Donald Trump pushes to halt the nearly 3-year full-scale war. Casper's unit, Ukraine's 14th Unmanned Aerial Systems Regiment, numbers a few hundred people. and has its own analysts and engineers. They are focused specifically on long-range strikes. One of the unit's founders, who uses the call sign Fidel, said they had drones that had reached ranges around 1,200 miles during combat missions.
I think we did a lot as a state, as a society, and as armed forces. We did it because we had no other choice. And this makes it possible for us to hold on. And God allowing, this can be a game changer. But unmanned systems on their own will not change the course of the war. You still need infantry, which holds everything together. You need artillery, which holds a lot of things together. You need aviation and many, many other things.
І багато інших речей.
The Bank of Japan raised interest rates on Friday to their highest since the 2008 global financial crisis. It also revised up its inflation forecasts, underscoring confidence that rising wages will keep inflation at around its 2% target. Bank of Japan Governor Kazuo Ueda.
When looking at the current state of the economy, there are some signs of weakness, but it is recovering moderately. In terms of wages, corporate earnings are continuing to improve, and there is a growing sense of labour shortages. There were many calls for wage increases at this year's spring labour management negotiations, as there were last year.
The decision marks its first rate hike since July last year, and comes just days after the inauguration of Donald Trump. The US president is expected to keep global policymakers vigilant ahead of potential repercussions from threatened higher tariffs. At its two-day meeting concluding on Friday, the BOJ raised its short-term policy rate from 0.25% to 0.5%. The widely expected move underscores the central bank's resolve to steadily push up interest rates to around 1%. It marks another step Japan is taking away from the deflation and stagnant economic growth that's dogged the country for decades. The BOJ's future rate hike path is bound with uncertainty, though, particularly with global trade concerns. The yen rose around 0.8% after the BOJ's decision and inflation upgrades, while the two-year Japanese government bond yield rose to 0.7%, the highest since 2008.
أكيد بترجع ذكريات كلها القديمة.
Of course, all the old memories come back, how we used to live. Our home is a part of us. Thank God what happened to us happened to everyone, and thank God we do not regret what happened at all. Everything can be compensated for, and we are used to this. It is not the first time this has happened. In every war, this is what happens, and thank God, people will rebuild and stand strong, thanks to the determination of the youth.
It has been almost a year and a half, a year and 4 months maybe, and thank God now we have come to see what happened. Thank God everyone is safe and buildings will be compensated, God willing.